Hey guys, Josh here, and today I want to take a look at General Spidrax from the Sectaurs. Now these guys started hitting toy shelves in 1985, made by a company called Coleco, which is responsible for giving us things like Starcom and the ColecoVision. Unfortunately, they were only able to produce 2 series, and only one character in that second series being Night Fighting Dargon. There were plans to make a Night Fighting General Spidrax, but unfortunately he didn't make it past the prototype stage. They also produced a large playset which was called the Hive and is extremely expensive and hard to find 100% complete, but I mainly wanted to focus in on General Spidrax here. Now, the toy line did not survive only because they had a miniseries that only lasted 5 episodes, a run of comics, and they were in direct competition with Masters of the Universe, G.I. Joe, and Transformers. And because I was only 3 years old in 1985, told my grandmother that I wanted some Masters of the Universe. That's what I was playing with at her house, and she comes home with a couple of Sectaurs, and this will absolutely terrify a 3-year-old. Now, as an adult collector, or even as an older kid, this is one awesome toy line, and one that I really suggest you guys hunt down, because it's really not that big, so it's not really going to cost you an arm and a leg to try to track down the whole entire line, unless you want to start getting into the Hive, which is the large playset. But as far as this guy, very, very cool. Animatronics, you have a puppeteer, a ton of weapons, metallic paint. So let's go ahead and jump into the weapons. So now taking a look at the accessories. The first thing we'll start off with is the shield. Now this shield actually belongs to a different character, but I did want to show the level of detail that went into making this, and also the fact that he does come with one. Everything is exactly the same as far as the metallic paint, the inside. The only difference is the outside here is actually kind of a octagon, or kind of almost a circle. So that's something to keep in mind. There's a little look at the backside there. He also comes with a net that you could throw over the insects or other characters, so a little bit of play value there. And whenever we get into the guns, you're really going to notice that there is a very high level of detail that went into making these weapons, and they're all character specific as well. And this is one of the reasons why this line was a little bit more expensive than Masters of the Universe. But, you know, as an adult collector, it's very awesome. As a kid, do you really care that much? Maybe not. Maybe that's why this line didn't do too well, but very, very cool. I'm just trying to get it all in the light there so you can see all the different lines. I mean, even here at the end, just fantastic looking on the weapons. The other thing is his Venom Whip. As you can see, that it's got the horns, the same thing that is being sport on his character himself. It's got a handle here, some nice level of detail, all the way down here at the end, and he does use this quite a bit, so he's always, you know, whipping people. Then when you get to these little Venom pistols, you can see that these guys are exactly the same, but these just look awesome. I love it. Look at the detail here, and just the grip kind of looks like that of, you know, something that belongs to insects or something. All the little hoses going back and forth, so I just can't get over how the detail is just so fantastic in these characters. Now, kind of raising it up a little bit, I'll show you some of the places that you could put these weapons. For one, on General Spidrax, you could put these guns in the holster here. You could put the whip in his hand, obviously. You could put the gun in his hand, or he could just have his shield. Sorry, that was not focused. So there was a few places that you could actually put his weapons, but I want to show you a couple places that you could put on his spider flyer. Over here you have a little section, just that there, to where you could put, you know, this rifle down in there. Over here you could actually put his guns, and you could store those back there if you like. And then you could just, you know, clip that in. And then over here you could put whatever you'd like. Maybe you want to put his shield or his whip or something like that, but we'll just put the shield in there. So you can store quite a few of his weapons on his spider flyer. Now taking a look at General Spidrax himself, this figure is absolutely amazing. The mold detail, the paint applications, the black wash, the weapons, everything is absolutely superb on this figure, except for the articulation, but you are talking about 1985 articulation, so it's actually quite good for its time. But I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a 360 so you can get the general idea of what he looks like standing on your shelf. And I'll do a size comparison. Then we're going to look at the guy a little bit up close, just because you really can't grasp how amazing this figure looks until you have him in hand or you look at him up close. So let's just move him over here for this time being, and I will bring in a little bit more current figure. There you have Generations Springer. So as you can see, they're almost head to head, but if we extend Springer's leg, he's probably going to be a little bit taller. So it is a much larger figure than your Masters of the Universe figures. moving him to the side, let's go ahead and get into the articulation. He can move his head all the way around. Doesn't, doesn't have a ball joint or anything like that. This is the soft head version. I believe there's a hard head version as well, but this is the one that I ended up going with. The arms, they do go in and out. They are on ball joints, so you can see there. They go almost 360, but this shoulder pad right here kind of hinders that a little bit. But you can get a nice little bit of movement, kind of move them in, out like so. No waist articulation, but you do have a ball joint here at the hip, so you can move these kind of in and out, front, back, and you also have 90-degree bend here at the knee. Now, the articulation on the legs, I guess it's mainly so they can fit on their insects, so it's not really there so that you can put them in crazy poses because they're not like NECA figures or anything like that. But let's go ahead and take a look at these guys up close. I'm going to go ahead and lose this Venom Whip here just because it's going to end up focusing on that. But looking at this guy up close, you can kind of see the paint applications that went into him. You can see the fangs are all individual. It wasn't cheaply done at all. The nice red eyes. You can see the mold detail with the face. I think there's a good shot off the light there. Also up here in the crown. Looks very, very nice. Then whenever you get a look here at the chest is kind of a shell where everything else is kind of a hard plastic, but the chest section here is kind of a nice plastic shell. It kind of feels like, so it's really glossy looking whenever you look at the metallic paint, the purple there, and you can see that they put some kind of back spray on some of the black metallic paint up underneath to kind of make the muscle definition kind of shine a little bit more. You can really see it here on the back, and there's a nice gloss coat over it as well. I mean, you really just don't see this in figures today. Now taking a look at the arms, you can see there's some nice muscle definition there, and there's also some nice paint application. They did the same thing with the metallic paint throughout the figure on the legs and the hands, but it's just a different material, so it's not going to look exactly the same. It's not going to have that nice gloss to it. But very, very cool, and you can see that there's no going outside the lines with the red, so there's no black backsplash or anything with red paint. Everything looks like this is like a masterpiece figure or something like that. This is the only way I can describe it. There's some nice muscle definition here in the legs. You can see that even the little mold details here in the calves, I mean, they look like they're insects, insect man, which they are. So again, with the red, a lot of times you'll see figures where they have like paint splatter all over the place. No, everything is exactly where it should be, and it's even, so very, very nice. But there is General Spidrax. Let's go ahead and start taking a look at his insect. We'll get home focus right there real quick. And I believe it's Spider Flyer, and we'll be done, guys. So. And finally, taking a look at Spider Flyer. This guy is kind of the main event because he has the same high level of detail as General Spidrax. He has a couple of cool gimmicks, and he's also huge. So some of the things I wanted to show you off is first off his head. As you can see that it was originally black, and they just painted this nice metallic purple and put that nice gloss on there, then the nice red eyes. A couple of things that are very breakable. These little front little fangs here, as you can see, they're very soft plastic, and they're not supposed to really move there. You can see that they're very breakable. The other thing is the antenna. Moves a little bit there, but you'll notice this is broken off a lot of times as well. But the most breakable part on this guy are the wings. Now he does come with 4 wings. As you can see, they have a nice design to them, very holographic look to them, and they also have some nice mold detail, if you can kind of point that out there. But these things, they do pull out, and you can put them back in there, but a lot of times these are broken or they're just completely missing from the figure, so it's something to keep in mind. One of the other gimmicks with this guy is he does have electronics, so these wings can actually go up and down on their own, and you would just flip the switch right here. Unfortunately, mine does not work, and it doesn't work on any of the other ones as well, and I've known some people to get these things straight out of box today, and they still don't work. So that's something that, I guess over time, the electronics, they really ended up failing whenever it came to the Sectaurs. Another one of the gimmicks is you put your hand back here, and this was kind of the main thing, is they had a puppet so he could walk as a spider here, and while he was flying, so you could have him through the air, and instead of just grabbing the tail section, you were actually part of the beast, which was really cool. And this front section here, you can come down with your middle finger, and you can move his head, so very cool little thing. I'll get my hand out of there. But again, like I said before, as a 3-year-old, this absolutely terrified me, and I usually just locked it in closets. Every time my grandmother would like get it out, I would just like hide it somewhere else. And unfortunately, I probably ended up losing the wings on my childhood version. But as an adult collector, this thing is very, very cool. Alright, so one of the other things that I wanted to show is what does he look like with General Spidrax. You kind of saw there in the beginning. You just put him down here, and his legs just fit to the side, and there they both are together. So very, very nice. If you can find any of these figures online, they do come with a ton of accessories. They each come with some insectoid. Some of them are smaller, kind of like Wingnet right here, and this guy right here, the wings are missing a lot of times, so I ended up looking for about a year and a half before I could find one that had wings. But I can do more of these Sectaur videos if you guys would like. Just let me know, and let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll talk to you later, guys. Bye.